Jonghyun seizes a moment when Taehyung is engaged in conversation with other guests. Casually, he slips a small vial of crush from his pocket, unseen by anyone around. With a sly smile, he discreetly empties the contents into the champagne glass, the effervescent bubbles quickly disguising the subtle addition. With the tainted champagne glass in hand, the guy waits for the opportune moment to present it to Taehyung. As the night's festivities continue, he finds a chance to approach the man again. Taehyung, here you are. This champagne is exquisite. You've got to try it, Jonghyun suggests, holding out the glass with a charming smile. As the champagne glasses clink in a toast, Jonghyun smoothly transitions the conversation into more waters. The ambient music and laughter of the celebration provide a discreet backdrop for their discussion. The young man, his voice low and suggestive, leans in slightly as he says, "I think there's something magical about nights like these. It's as if the air is charged with possibilities, don't you think?" Taehyung, still unsuspecting of the pill coursing through his system, nods in agreement, caught up in the atmosphere of the event. Jonghyun continues, his words dripping with innuendo. "Life is short, and I stick to the idea that we should seize every opportunity that comes our way. Don't you ever feel like you want to break free from the ordinary?" Taehyung, beginning to feel a subtle shift in his perception, hesitates before responding. "Well, sure, I guess. But there's a line, you know? Boundaries that shouldn't be crossed." Jonghyun, dauntless, gives a knowing smile. Boundaries. Sometimes they are meant to be pushed. Imagine the thrill of stepping into the unknown, where passion and excitement reign supreme. The effervescent bubbles in the champagne work to conceal the taste of the crush, and as the minutes pass, Taehyung begins to feel the subtle effects. Unbeknownst to him, Jonghyun patiently waits for the to take hold, the mischievous glint in his eye growing more pronounced. Taehyung, caught up in the conversation and the celebratory atmosphere, starts to lose his initial unease. The room takes on a dreamlike quality as work their magic, and Jonghyun seizes the opportunity to draw him away from the crowd. "This party is fantastic. But I have a feeling there's something even more exciting waiting for us outside," Jonghyun suggests, leading him towards the doors with a subtle touch on his arm. As they leave the ballroom, Jonghyun skillfully continues his seductive discourse with Taehyung. The ambient sounds of the celebration fade as they step into a quieter corridor, providing an intimate backdrop to their unfolding encounter. The guy, maintaining his low and suggestive tone, murmurs to his ear, "Have you ever felt a magnetic pull towards something so irresistible that it becomes impossible to resist?" His eyes lock onto Taehyung's, a spark of mischief lighting up his gaze. The effects intensify, and Taehyung, caught in a haze of desire, struggles to maintain his usual composure. Jonghyun, reading the subtle cues, takes advantage of the newfound boldness in Taehyung's movements. As they walk, the guy's fingers subtly graze Taehyung's arm, a touch both fleeting and electrifying. "The night is ours, honey," Jonghyun continues, his voice a velvet caress. "And we have the opportunity to paint it with the colors of our desires. No boundaries, no inhibitions." Taehyung, now completely under the spell of the drugs and Jonghyun's persuasive charm, becomes more touchy in response. Jonghyun, seizing the moment, encourages Taehyung's burgeoning boldness. He subtly reciprocates the touches, stoking the flames of desire that flicker between them. "Let go, Taehyung. Feel the pulse of the night. It's just you and me in this moment." They reach the elevator, and the guy presses the button, the soft thing signaling its arrival. The doors slide open, revealing a private place away from prying eyes. Taehyung stumbles slightly as he steps into the confined space. The elevator doors close, enveloping them. Jongin, seizing the opportunity, stands closer to the man, the air charged with an undeniable tension. Taehyung's inhibitions further dissolve in the confined space, and he places a hand on Jongin's waist, his touch lingering longer than usual. His words become a soft murmur, incomprehensible. Jongin, maintaining his seductive charm, responds with a sultry smile. The elevator begins its ascent, and the young man leans in, his lips brushing against Taehyung's ear. "You're feeling it, aren't you, honey?" "The electricity in the air," he whispers, his voice sending shivers down Taehyung's spine. The man nods in agreement, his eyes clouded with desire. Jongin, undeterred, continues to play the seductive game, his fingers tracing patterns on Taehyung's arm. "The night is ours, Taehyung. No need to resist, no need for boundaries. Just pure, unadulterated pleasure." The elevator doors slide open to reveal a secluded area away from the main celebration. Jongin, still in control of the situation, lets Taehyung out into the dimly lit space, where the muted sounds of distant music create a sensual ambience. He turns to him, his voice a silky whisper. "No need to hold back, Taehyung. Let go, Taehyung." His inhibitions eroded by the pills and the charged atmosphere, responds with a gaze heavy with desire. "I don't know what's going on," he stammers, his words a mix of confusion and arousal. Jongin, maintaining his seductive composure, leans to his ear. "That's the charm of it, honey. Sometimes, we don't need to know. We just need to feel." He trails his fingers along the contours of Taehyung's face, his touch leaving a trace of heat in its wake. Taehyung, unable to resist, pulls Jongin even closer, his words now a breathy admission. "It's like the world is spinning." Jongin, taking advantage of the moment, smirks and replies. "That's the magic of the night, Taehyung. Let it spin. Let it take us wherever it leads." He continues to weave a seductive tone. "You and I, honey. Just the passion." Jongin, with a knowing smile, takes Taehyung's hand and leads him towards the door. The hallway conceals their movements as they approach the room Mrs. Kim had provided the card key for. The door swings open, revealing a dimly lit, lavish hotel room. The guy guides Taehyung inside, closing the door behind them. The room exudes an air of secrecy, and Jongin senses that the stage is set for the next act of their encounter. He turns to the man, his gaze locked onto him with unwavering intensity. Jongin murmurs, his voice a velvet caress. "Finally. Just the two of us." Taehyung, still under the influence of the charged atmosphere, responds with a languid nod. Jongin takes a step closer, the allure between them reaching its peak. He traces his finger along the edge of the man's jaw, his touch igniting a trail of fire on Taehyung's skin. "You feel it?" "My hands, Jongin. This is..." The man begins, his words trailing off into an anticipatory hush. Jongin's lips brush against Taehyung's ear as he whispers. "Shh. This is our secret, Taehyung." The guy, attuned to the subtleties of desire, continues to guide the dance with a practiced hand. He traces feather-light patterns across Taehyung's chest, his touch leaving a trail of anticipation. "You've always struck me as a man who knows what he wants, you know," Jongin murmurs, his voice a persuasive melody. "A man who enjoys taking control, indulging in..." Taehyung, caught in the web of Jonghyun's seduction, feels a flicker of realization. But thanks to Mrs. Kim, Jonghyun knows where to push. Taehyung knows that he needs to put a stop to this, that he's teetering on the edge of something he might regret. However, the effects of the pills, combined with the charged atmosphere, make resistance a distant thought. Jonghyun, sensing Taehyung's internal struggle, leans in closer, his lips brushing against Taehyung's neck. Let go, Taehyung. Give in to the desires that have always lingered beneath the surface. The night is about you. Taehyung, wrestling with his inner conflict, attempts to find the strength to resist. Jonghyun, this isn't right. We need to stop, he stammers, but the words sound feeble against the rising tide of desire. Jonghyun, the seducer, caresses Taehyung's cheek, his eyes locking onto Taehyung's with an intensity that leaves no room for retreat. There's no need to resist, Taehyung. Just feel. Give in to